So hello guys and welcome back to Excel Shore Academy. So till now in the cell biology, in the biological membranes, we have discussed the properties of phospholipids, right? And especially I have given focus towards the lipid rafts, its composition, right? So based on the previous lectures, what we have discussed so far, like around 2-3 lectures have been over, right? So certain MCQs are there, which I have collected from our previous year's question paper. So let us try to answer these questions and just let's see like how much we are having the understanding about the concepts. So are you ready guys for this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So your first question is, a membrane associated protein is composed of 7 alpha helices with each helix containing hydrophobic residues. Okay, while treating the membrane with all kinds of proteases, a major portion of this protein remains intact. Treatment with high salt, around like 1.5 molar NaCl and buffer of pH 5 fail to dissociate this protein from the membrane. Predict the most appropriate nature and orientation of this protein in the membrane. So if you remember guys, I have already said membrane associated protein agar aapko purify karna hai, to what is the main thing which you required for the purification? Who remembers for membrane protein purification? तो यहाँ पे वो मेंशन नहीं किया है and they tried using the proteases and high salt concentration use किया है. So basically we use detergents if you remember. Okay, this is important. Okay, now go through the options. Let's read all the options one by one. So first option is peripheral glycoprotein. So integral protein with 7 membrane spanning regions. Peripheral protein with both N and C terminals remain exposed to outer surface of the cell. Then peripheral protein with both N and C remain exposed to cytosolic surface of the cell membrane. तो क्या nature and क्या orientation होगा? So here we are talking about, it's a hydrophobic protein, right? So hydrophobic है and it is given that it has got 7 alpha helices. तो क्या nature है उस protein का? It is very direct. Even though it is of 4 marks, ठीक है, ये कुछ 82 number है. So if it is direct 4 marks और options में ही answer दिया है. Guys, give me the answer.
B.
B Bombay, D Delhi.
Bombay.
Okay, someone is saying B. Okay, 1 second. Who said? Akshaya or Shruti? Who was it?
Akshaya.
Okay, Akshaya said B. What about Shruti and Tanvi? This question shouldn't be taking more than 10 seconds. Tanvi, क्या लगता है क्या आंसर होगा?
B.
Okay, even she is saying B. Okay, so Akshay, can you justify your answer why it is B?
Because it is mentioned alpha helices,
So,
and the 7 number is mentioned.
so
And it helps in the transport. So
okay, so whatever the thought process you had, it is correct. ठीक है? But आप लोग को यहाँ पे ना quick analysis नहीं आता है. Okay, so whatever I am teaching, you're able to understand, but you're not getting that fast logical and analytical thinking which I really want you guys to learn. अब हमने अभी तक क्या पढ़ा था? That there are 2 types of proteins in plasma membrane. One is integral, correct? And another one is peripheral, if you remember. Correct? 2 types of proteins we have discussed. So integral proteins are those which are transmembrane, which span the membrane. अगर आपका membrane ऐसा है तो वो span करेगा ऐसे, Correct? This is what we have learned. What is peripheral? It is attached to your inner leaflet of your membrane. Peripheral always going to be hydrophilic in nature because it is present in the cytoplasm. तो वो आपका हमेशा hydrophilic रहेगा उसका nature. Whereas your integral proteins are always going to have the hydrophobic residues. अब question में क्या था? जैसे ही पेरिफेरल दिखा, दिस इज नॉट द आंसर, आगे पढ़ने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. दिस इज आल्सो पेरिफेरल प्रोटीन, दिस इज आल्सो पेरिफेरल प्रोटीन्स. वी ऑलरेडी अंडरस्टूड फ्रॉम द क्वेश्चन दैट दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द मेम्ब्रेन एसोसिएटेड प्रोटीन. तो क्या मुझे इतना टाइम लगना चाहिए था? नहीं, इट इज इंटीग्रल प्रोटीन, उतना मुझे सोचने की जरूरत ही नहीं थी. सो सिंपली आई कुड हैव जस्ट गॉन फॉर द बी. सो Akshaya, the answer is correct. Okay, the thought process is also correct, but it is taking time. Got the point, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
There's nothing to feel bad. It's just that आपको और जल्दी करना होगा. See, if you save time here, then you can spend more time in the questions, which is, little tricky. ये तो एकदम direct हो गया. Okay, now coming to the next question. So, sphingolipids and cholesterol molecules of the lipid bilayer aggregate into multiple tiny rafts. This we have talked about it, right? Instead of a single large one. Considering that the size of a lipid raft depends on the affinity of sphingolipids and cholesterol for one another and other lipids in the membrane, choose the option that best describes this property. Okay. Sphingolipids, cholesterol bind to one another tightly and independent of any other lipid molecules. They bind to one another with same affinity as they bind to other lipid species of the membrane. They bind to one another with high affinity under the influence of some cytoskeleton elements, or they have slightly higher affinity than other lipid molecules of the membrane and are in dynamic equilibrium with their free forms. So आपको क्या लगता है इनमें से कौन सा होगा?
Four.
Correct. Absolutely. Okay. So Shruti, what is the reason behind this? This is the correct answer. Yes. What is your thought process? Let others also know.
Because the dynamic equilibrium part is always true. So just even having slightly higher affinity should influence it enough to cause it to aggregate simply because that is the best place for it to be. Like,
Yes.
that is the most less amount of energy.
Yes, yes, correct. Absolutely correct. So good. So what about others? Did you get the point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. Now, lipid rafts are involved in signal transduction in cells. Rafts have composition different from rest of the membrane. Yes, because we already saw, right? It is mainly composed of cholesterol and sphingolipid. Rats were isolated and found to have cholesterol to sphingolipid ratio of 2:1. Okay. So cholesterol to sphingolipid, the ratio is 2:1. This is how you write. The estimated size of the raft is around 35 nanometer square. If the surface area of cholesterol is 40 angstrom square and sphingolipid is 60 angstrom square, how many cholesterol and lipids are present in one raft? Okay, little tricky numerical question. So what will be the answer for this? How are you going to proceed? Anyone? What kind of equations we are going to use? Okay, I'll just help in starting. You guys tell me how to proceed. Okay, let us say that sphingolipid is X. हम इसको थोड़ा मैथ्स की तरफ जाएंगे. So what will be your cholesterol then?
2x.
Very good. Because this is a given scenario, right? So I can go as 2x. Okay. Now it is given that the size of the raft is 35 nanometer square and cholesterol का इतना है, sphingolipid का इतना है. So if you see, lipid raft is equal to the surface area of cholesterol plus surface area of sphingolipids. Now tell me how to write this thing. ये आपको समझ में आ गया? The total surface area of the lipid raft is given, surface area of cholesterol is given, surface area of sphingolipid is given. Now, you need to put this statement into the mathematical equation. आप कैसे डालोगे? So what is the value over here? What is the value given over here? लिपिड ड्राफ्ट का क्या दिया है? 35 nanometer square, correct? It is 35 nanometer square. But this is given in angstrom. तो हमें सारा एक यूनिट में चाहिए होगा, correct? So either you can make nanometer into angstrom or you can make angstrom into nanometer, जो आपको easy लगे. So what I'll do, I'll make this into angstrom. तो कैसे करूंगी? So 35 nanometer square is equal to 3500 angstrom square. Do you agree? What is 1 nanometer? It is 10 raised to minus 9 meter, correct? What is 1 angstrom? 10 raised to minus 10 meter. So
Yes.
from this 1 nanometer is equal to 10 angstrom. तो 1 nanometer square है तो ये 100 square हो जाएगा. Okay, is this much clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so here this is going to be equal to 3500 angstrom square is equal to, okay, surface area of cholesterol. So cholesterol क्या था मेरा 2x into surface area कितना दिया है 40 angstrom square plus surface area of sphingolipid, so x into 60 angstrom square. Now solve it. How much you are getting x? Fast solve it. कितना आ रहा है? So this is equal to 35. हाँ कितना?
25.
So your x is 25. Okay. तो x मतलब क्या था हमारा? Sphingolipid. Sphingolipid अगर x है, sorry, x हमारा 25 है तो sphingolipid हमारा 25 हुआ. कोलेस्ट्रॉल कितना हो गया? 50. तो इनमें से हमारा ऑप्शन कौन सा हो गया? ऑप्शन ए, राइट? अगर हम सारे ऑप्शन देखते, सारे ऑप्शन का रेशियो कितना आ रहा था? 2:1 आ रहा था, विच इज गिवन ऑलरेडी, राइट? तो इसलिए हम लोग ब्लाइंडली कोई भी एक नंबर नहीं उठा सकते थे. सो इट वाज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस टू कैलकुलेट. सो आई होप एवरीवन इज गेटिंग x इक्वल टू 25. यस, तो ये हो जाएगा आपका 80x प्लस 60x. एंगस्ट्रॉम आप कैंसिल कर सकते हो. यहाँ पे हो गया 3500, राइट? Total this will be 140x. So x is equal to 3500 by 140. Cancel आपको 25 आ जाएगा, right? So this is how you solve and you get the answer. Did you get the logic behind it कि कैसे solve करना है? So there will be little twist in the next upcoming questions. 2:3, 2:1 के जगह 3:2 दिया होगा या कुछ भी दिया होगा. But this is how you are going to solve. Okay, is it clear to everyone? Tanvi, would you,
Yes,
you were able to follow, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. So this is also done. See, these are the questions which is going to take much of your time, even though this question carries only 2 marks. But ये आपका ज़्यादा time लेगा as compared to the others. So you have to manage accordingly. Okay. Okay, ये थोड़ा सा clear नहीं है, but I'll read for you guys. So molecules primarily responsible for the formation of lipid raft are dash. ये तो बहुत simple है. So what is the answer?
4.
Yes,
Fourth.
phospholipids and cholesterol. Very straightforward. Okay, one more. So lipid rafts are rich in both sphingolipids and cholesterol. Cholesterol plays a central role in raft formation since lipid rafts apparently do not form in its absence. Okay, एक चीज आपको ये भी समझनी थी, अभी इसी में बोल दिया है, without cholesterol lipid rafts will not form. ठीक है? Why do you think cholesterol is essential for the formation of lipid rafts? So let's read the options. Cholesterol decreases the mobility of sphingolipids in the lipid bilayer. Large head groups of sphingolipids repel each other in presence of cholesterol. Cholesterol interacts with fatty acid tails in the membrane. The planar cholesterol molecules are postulated to fill the voids that form underneath the large head groups of the sphingolipids. अब बताओ क्यों ऐसा होता है? For example, अगर मैं फिगर बनाती हूँ, if you see, these are the large head groups of the sphingolipids, ऐसे, correct? इसके बीच में यहाँ पे कोलेस्ट्रॉल प्रेजेंट रहते हैं. This is just for your imagination, like to imagine and guess the answer. So what is the answer now? Yes, Tanvi, would you like to try?
I'm second.
अगर large head groups of sphingolipids will repel each other in presence of cholesterol, then it is not going to form a stable lipid raft, right? तो फिर मेरा raft नहीं बनेगा. So this option is wrong. If it is going to repel. Think. Akshaya, do you want to try?
4.
Fourth.
Yes, the correct answer is 4. जब मैंने diagram बनाया था, this diagram I was giving you the hint of the answer. So when you have these, what to say, the large head groups of these sphingolipids, the cholesterol is present in order to fill the gap. अब क्या होगा? When these gaps are filled, okay, they form a very good, as a compact structure of the raft, and that makes it easy for them to float on the phospholipid bilayer. Okay, so the answer is 4th one. Good. I guess that's all for the questions. Okay, one more question is there. It's not clear for you guys. I'll just read for you. So when the cholera toxin, a protein of 90 kilodalton, gains access to the human intestinal tract, it binds tightly to specific receptors in the plasma membrane of the epithelial cells lining the small intestine, causing membrane bound adenylyl cyclase to undergo prolonged activation, resulting in excessive loss of H2O Na+. Okay, so this also we have discussed, even though I have not shown the pathway how the toxin is actually affecting the human epithelial cells, but but do you remember that when cholera toxin comes and binds, what happens? Eventually, I have mentioned that the diarrhea or the loss of water will happen, right? So I'll discuss the pathway later. So pre-treatment of these epithelial cells with various phospholipases and proteases failed to inhibit the binding of cholera toxin to its receptor and the fluid loss. But treatment with exoglycosidase prior to binding significantly reduces these effects. Which of the following molecules could be the receptor for this toxin? Yes. So they are asking, पूरी कहानी सुनाने के बाद they are just asking what is the receptor of the cholera toxin to which it binds. So if you remember the diagram, I have shown how it binds. Do you remember what was the receptor to which cholera toxin was binding? Anyone? Read the option and try to get the answer. Nahi? Okay, one second. I'll show you the figure and you might be able to remember then. I think मैंने रखा है. हाँ. You remember this was the slide which I have shown you? Yes. Now look at the figure and tell me to which receptor it is binding, the cholera toxin. Shruti? Akshaya? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then why you guys are not saying? Figure देख के बताओ कहाँ bind कर रहा है आपका cholera toxin? It is very straightforward and obvious. What is the name of the receptor? ये discuss हम कर चुके हैं. So this is your lipid raft, right? And यहाँ पे mention है GM1 and PLAP आपका दो receptor है यहाँ पे. To which one it is binding? Your GM1. If you see cholera toxin, ये yellow color mention, it goes and binds to this particular receptor, right? It just that which one is that receptor? So that receptor is your ganglioside. Okay. So among this, the answer is your ganglioside. अगर आपको ध्यान हो, इफ यू रिमेम्बर, अगर आपने ये भी नहीं पढ़ा है, कॉलरा टॉक्सिन के बारे में कुछ भी नहीं पढ़ा है, स्टिल यू कुड हैव गॉट दिस आंसर. Phosphatidylcholine. What is phosphatidylcholine? It is your PC. It is not a receptor, but it's a phospholipid which is present on the membrane. Correct? It is your plasma membrane phospholipid. It's not a receptor. तो ये आपका option है ही नहीं. Then sodium potassium ATPase. What is this? This is Na plus K plus ATPase, which is involved in the nerve impulse transmission. ये भी आपने पढ़ा होगा synapse के time पे. So ये भी option नहीं है. Now coming to chloride bicarbonate exchanger, ये हमने कल ही discuss किया था that it is your band 3. जहाँ पे मैंने बोला था ये bicarbonate exchange करता है, which is required for your carbon dioxide oxygen का exchange in the lungs and the RBCs, right? So बचा क्या आपका ganglioside. So this is your GM1 to which the cholera toxin binds. ठीक है? Okay. So the answer is ganglioside. So that's what guys I'm telling you. Even if you don't know about the cholera toxin or about the peripheral integral protein, the same थोड़ा सा presence of mind रखना है कि क्या option नहीं हो सकता है. Then also you can get the answer, and that's why nowadays clearing CSR exam is very easy क्योंकि आपको चीजें याद ही नहीं रखनी है, आपको बस चीजें समझनी है, and you can get the answer. ठीक है? Okay, everyone, all right? ये exercise was this exercise fruitful or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now for your knowledge, I'll just explain how cholera toxin is having its mode of mechanism, okay, in the human intestinal cell. So we know that cholera toxin is released by Vibrio cholerae, correct? This organism. Now this produces cholera toxin. तो हमने क्या पढ़ा था उस slide में, that it is the subunit which goes in subunit B is the protein which goes, there are two subunits A and B. ठीक है? अब क्या है, B subunit जो है, it goes and binds to your lipid raft. So when it binds to the lipid raft, it forms a pore kind of structure by which your A subunit goes inside. तो ये कैसे है? आपका A subunit A1, A2 ऐसे दो subunit हैं, ठीक है? And these subunits are surrounded by your B subunits ऐसे. So what is happening? This B subunit is going to interact with your GM1, your ganglioside receptor. अब जब interaction होगा, it is going to give a signal to form a pore-like structure on the plasma membrane of the intestinal cell. So what will happen in the pore-like structure? एक hollow cavity मिल गया है जिससे आपका A1, A2 subunit of the cholera toxin will go inside. ठीक है? अब ये क्या करेगा? Inside you have got the enzyme called adenylyl cyclase. ठीक है? Adenylyl cyclase क्या करेगा? the action of this enzyme is that now these are also your receptor bound, यहाँ पे present रहते हैं आपके adenylyl cyclase, ठीक है. Now this adenylyl cyclase जैसे यहाँ पे लिखा है, it causes a membrane bound cyclase to undergo prolonged activation, यानी कि क्या, it is going to make your this enzyme highly active, because of which this enzyme is going to keep on converting your ATP into CAMP. ATP into cyclic AMP. Okay, is this part clear to you? So आपका क्या हो रहा है, जितना भी सेल में good amount of ATP is there, it is getting converted to CAMP, cyclic AMP. Cyclic AMP is nothing but a secondary messenger. Okay, this secondary messenger will go and activate all your ion channels. For example, like Na plus open कर देगा, आपका ये Cl minus open कर देगा, K plus minus open कर देगा channel, and then you have got bicarbonate channel also. So what will happen when these channels are continuously open? So from the cytoplasm, all the Na plus will go outside, all the Cl minus will go outside, all the water will go outside. ठीक है. अब NaCl अगर आपका बाहर जा रहा है तो पानी भी बाहर जाएगा. क्यों? आपका सोल्यूट कॉन्सेंट्रेशन अभी यहाँ बढ़ रहा है, करेक्ट. So in order to make it the osmolarity of the surrounding proper, the water will also move outside. तो solute भी बाहर गया, पानी भी बाहर गया, all the important ions are going out, and this results in the dehydration or the loss of water from the body. Clear? The entire mechanism eventually resulting in the diarrhea. Is it clear? याद रहेगा? Do you want me to repeat any part which is not clear? Okay, so now Akshay is going to explain the mechanism. Yes, Akshaya, you start explaining.
So there are various subunits, the A1, A2, the P subunits. So they all go and bind to the receptor GM1. So this is a ganglioside, and when they bind to it, the ATP is converted into CAMP.
ये तो बहुत दूर हो गया. What about this portion?
The adenylyl cyclase gets activated.
Yes.
And then this goes and when adenylyl cyclase get activated, the ATP is converted into CAMP. This is a secondary messenger which goes and releases all the channels. So when
Not
these
release,
all
it hyperactivates.
okay, okay, when it activates all the channels, there is a lot of solute and water loss, and due to which it leads to diarrhea.
Yes, good. But the point which you are missing is that जब A1, A2 subunit अंदर जाता है, it goes and hyperactivates your adenylyl cyclase. See, ये भी हमें required है for normal cell signaling. You need CAMP, but not at the cost of the cell's ATP. अब क्या हो रहा है? सारे ATP of your cell is being used, right? Eventually, what will happen? You don't have ATP to function any other cellular processes, right? So that's why if you know, अगर जब diarrhea होता है, loss of water is there, the body feel weak, lethargic, just because you don't have energy now. Okay, so this is how the cholera toxin is affecting us. Okay, correct? Now, अब देखो, अब question में जाओ. What the question was saying, the pre-treatment of the epithelial cells with various phospholipases. One second. One second. Time is getting over. Okay. So the pre-treatment of the epithelial cells with the phospholipases and proteases fail to inhibit. ठीक है? तो यानी कि क्या? हमारा receptor ना phospholipid था, ना कोई ऐसे proper protein था, which is inhibiting the binding of the cholera toxin. But जब हमने इसको exoglycosidase use किया, then it was able to I mean क्या, prior to binding, it reduces these effects, but it is not completely inhibiting the process, correct? And that is your ganglioside. अब इससे क्या समझ में आ रहा है? एक्सोग्लाइकोसिडेज, यहाँ फॉस्फोलाइपेज है, प्रोटीएज है, गैंग्लियोसाइड है, तो इससे क्या समझ में आ रहा है? So what had happened by the exoglycosidase treatment, because of which the toxin was not able to bind to the ganglioside? क्या हुआ था?
It was blocking the receptor.
नहीं, it's an enzyme. Sidase
It
enzyme
was
है.
blocking the active site.
No.
Yeah.
और सोचो, प्रोटीएज है, अगर मेरे पास कोई प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन है, प्रोटीएज ऐड करूंगी, सो प्रोटीएज इज गोना डू व्हाट टू दिस इंटीग्रल प्रोटीन? What does proteases does? It degrades protein, correct? तो जितना
Yeah.
भी proteases को इंटीग्रल प्रोटीन एक्सपोज होगा, that is going to chop off that much, degrade. अब मेरे पास फॉस्फोलाइपेज है, फॉस्फोलाइपेज डिग्रेड्स योर लिपिड्स, ठीक है? लिपिड्स आपका यहाँ अंदर की तरफ है, बाहर आपका पोलर ग्रुप है, सो अगेन लाइपेजेस आर नॉट एबल टू अफेक्ट द फॉस्फोलिपिड्स, ठीक है? सो दैट्स व्हाई द ट्रीटमेंट विद फॉस्फोलाइपेज एंड प्रोटीएजेस वेर ऑफ नो यूज. नाउ कमिंग टू द एक्सोग्लाइकोसिडेज, एक्सोग्लाइकोसिडेज नाम से पता चलना चाहिए क्या? एक्सो मींस व्हाट? कोई भी चीज जब हम एक्सो बोलते हैं, एंडो बोलते हैं, व्हाट डज इट मीन? एक्सो क्या होता है, एंडो क्या होता है?
Exo means present outside.
करेक्ट, तो ये हो गया आपका एक्सटर्नल, ठीक है? ग्लाइकोसिडेज, अब ये सुन के क्या लगता है, क्या एंजाइम है जो क्या डिग्रेड करता होगा?
Glucose.
नॉट ग्लूकोज बट ऑफ कोर्स
Glycogen.
शुगर.
Like,
Yes,
Yeah.
it is sugar or the carbohydrate moiety. Okay. So अब आपके पास प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन है, लिपिड राफ्ट है, उसमें आपका ये GM1 है, which is a receptor. Now it is said is ganglioside. So ganglioside is nothing but a receptor which is having all those sugar component. अब मैंने क्या किया ट्रीटमेंट में? एक्सोग्लाइकोसिडेज which is external, of course it is external, right? ये बाहर है, शुगर मोइटी है, हमने इसको चॉप ऑफ कर दिया, and that's how the cholera toxin was not able to bind to the GM1 and it reduces these effects. अब समझा how the exoglycosidase was able to prevent the effects? अभी समझा? क्लियर? या थोड़ा सा ऐसे सोच के हमें करना है, ओके? अभी प्रॉब्लम ये है कि आई हैव नेवर शोन द गैंग्लियोसाइड, करेक्ट? because that's a part of actually biochemistry, तो अभी हमने कभी mention नहीं किया, but from the name itself थोड़ा सा ऐसे guess मानना चाहिए था that it is all made up of sugar. Glucobioside आपने सुना होगा, globoside सुना होगा, cerebroside, what are those? These are nothing but the lipids or the proteins which is having the sugar moiety in that. Okay, so we'll talk about all this thing in biochemistry portion, but अभी के लिए इतना समझ जाओ what is what was the mechanism behind this cholera toxin, ठीक है? Clear? Okay, so yeah.